Hey Taurus, welcome to your weekly forecast for June 1st through the 6th. We're going to see what's happening the week ahead for Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising with this lovely deck here. And then we're going to pull a spirit message for you all from this unicorn themed deck there. So without further ado, Taurus, we're going to jump right on in here. We have some very, very powerful Sagittarius full moon eclipsed energy we're coming into this week. This full moon and what's been happening planetarily is bringing us into a whole new civilization, guys. We're coming into a mass awakening. We're coming out of like the dark ages. And so this full moon in Sagittarius is bringing a lot of people a desire to be free, to be themselves, to live their best life, to feel safe, to feel secure. So we're seeing this come up in a lot of ways. We're seeing this in the United States right now with what's happening here with social injustice. We're seeing it in China with the protests that are happening there. And we're going to see it all around the world. And we're going to be seeing it for a while. But it's going to bring about positive change. So we're going to see how the energies that we're coming into this week are going to be affecting Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising in your personal life on a personal level. So without further ado, my darlings, let's get right on into this and see what's coming up for Taurus. So your first card here is the Tower. Now, don't let this scare you. Don't let this freak you out. I know this is not a card that people like to see. But we talked about how you guys, not just you guys, but how we're having this difference happen, this change happen with this shift and this mass awakening and wanting a sense of safety, wanting a sense of security. So when the Tower comes up, it's about all of the old belief structures crumbling away. Taurus, you guys can sometimes be seen as creatures of habit. And I'm not saying this in a negative way. I'm not saying this in a stereotypical way. You guys can be just seen as very fixed and very much like, you know, you like to be home, you like your space, you like your stuff the way you like your stuff. Like very just kind of settled into who you are, how you like things. But a lot of this might be kind of changing and shifting. You're having this awakening and you're realizing that you're no longer satisfied with the way things have been and you're wanting something deeper. You're wanting something more meaningful. Some of you are moving away from just the physical everyday things in terms of comfort, and you're looking for comfort in terms of like, you know, doing things that you're proud of doing things that you find fulfilling, maybe disconnecting or pulling away from people in your life that you didn't realize they had some very hateful ways of thinking. So the vibe that I'm getting around the Tower card for you, Taurus, is I feel like you're cleaning house. You're cleaning house. And for some of you, you're having such a significant awakening that you're realizing things about either places where you're working or people that you've been associating with that you feel absolutely horrified when you hear them speaking. I just feel for some reason, some of you are like, wow, I know a lot of really hateful people. And this could go either way. Right? Because even when it comes into like people who are protesting injustice, some of the people are protesting injustice in a way that it's very hateful, that it's very much like, you know, like warlike, right? And we want to bring about change, but we want to be able to come together and we want to be able for all people to come together and to stand up and to come together and say, here's what we're no longer accepting, right? But we're not doing it in a way of like violence and destruction. And so it can go either way, wherever people lie. But you're realizing that, wow, that's not an energy that I want to be aligned with. That's not a belief that I want to carry. So you're coming into the energy, you're coming into the ways of seeing things or looking at things in a way where you're taking back your power. You're examining your beliefs. You're seeing the truth of the situation. You're seeing ways in which you feel maybe you've been kind of deceived or duped or tricked by the illusion that a lot of us have been under due to media and things like this. You're breaking out of it. You're having a mass awakening. So some of you are really beginning to take a deeper, closer look at your beliefs, and you're in this energy where you're just really kind of ready to disconnect from everything you've known. Some of you are resigning from a particular group. Some of you might be leaving a church or a religious organization simply because you feel this organization or this group of people is no longer aligned with my values, or I'm seeing a lot of hypocrisy here, or I'm seeing a lot of things that just are not adding up. So I feel for you guys, this Tower card is you're shaking things up in your own life because of an awakening that you had. And you're like, I'm just gonna, move away from this and move towards where I'm feeling guided to go. That's the energy that I feel with the Tower card. Your next card here, my dear, see? Look at this, Death card. And so I know this is a card that scares a lot of people, especially in this deck. It's got a very ominous, scary look to it. And I'm not just saying this as a Scorpio. And I know a lot of you comment in the comments. A lot of my Taurus viewers, you guys are Scorpio moons. I see that a lot. A lot of you are Scorpio moon or Scorpio rising, which is funny because I'm Scorpio sun and Taurus moon. But you guys have that similar energy. So a lot of you who've got that Scorpio in you, that Scorpio element is really coming to the surface. And what I'm saying about that is because a lot of you are making some massive changes and stepping away from things that aren't fair or things that are not aligned with your morals and values and beliefs. You're in that Scorpio energy where you have this badass energy where you're like, you know what? I'm going to be fine without it. Like, I'm going to overcome this. I'm going to reinvent myself. Scorpio is the phoenix of the zodiac. Scorpio is the phoenix that rises from the ashes. So as these changes are happening, as this Tower is happening, I feel people are like, Taurus, like, what are you doing? They might make you feel in some way like you're alienating yourself from like a group that's used to having you around. But you're in this Scorpio energy where you're just like, I'm fine, I'm good. Like, I can handle this. I can go out there into the unknown and I can conquer that energy. So very much the Death card has to do with rebirth. It has to do with something coming to an end, some cycle coming to its full life cycle, and now it's time for the rebirth. Now it's time for the resurrection. So Taurus, a lot of you, it's like you're forever changing. Like this week, you're seeing things, you're seeing truths where your life is never going to be the same again. But the fact that we have the Death card coming up, it's like you're going to feel good about it. You're going to feel like, yes, this feels natural. This feels like, that old kind of shell that I was living in. I'm shedding it off. I'm shedding off that layer. I'm shedding off that skin. And I'm coming out of this a new me, like the real me. So I think a lot of people are going to be very, very surprised. I also feel, Taurus, that some of you are breaking out of some kind of like feeling controlled or feeling dominated by a person that maybe you've had a really hard time standing up to this person in the past. So it could be somebody that's just been intimidating you, or maybe you feel kind of bullied about them in some way, or you feel like they kind of control things. I feel like a lot of you are no longer afraid of this person. And like that's freaking them out. And so that power is changing. That shift is happening. That dynamic is changing where you're no longer making your decisions in life in a way out of fear of like not wanting to disappoint that person. You're just in this energy where you don't care. Like you don't care what anybody else thinks. You're doing what feels right to you. You're doing what you feel guided to do. You're letting go of the social fear. You're letting go of the the fear of what other people might say or think or how they might see you. And you're just, like assuming your your natural self without having to edit or filter. Your next card here is the Six of Pentacles. So some of you might be ready, really fully ready for change, in which you're moving forward in a way where you're ready to take action. Okay, you're ready to take action. So you're ready to give your time. You're ready to give your money. You're ready to give your finances into causes or situations that you feel is going to bring about appropriate change. For other ones of you, you may be very touched, and you may be coming into a time where you are seeing a lot of generosity. You are seeing the beautiful part of humanity. You are seeing people coming together, and you are seeing people coming together on your behalf to help you, to bless you, to assist you through some transitions that you may be going through. I feel there's a sense of miracles with this card. Some of you feel like miracles are happening. And it's very interesting because I'm hearing the phrase, very long phrase, but I'm hearing the phrase, when you give a man a fish, you teach him to, you feed him for a day. When you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. When you teach a man to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. That's the phrase that I heard. So I feel there's a generosity coming your way, which is going to be like this gift that keeps on giving. So somebody might be helping you get something set up in terms of a business, or getting you into some kind of opportunity that's shifting your financial situation or your financial status, allowing you to kind of upgrade that energy, because Six of Pentacles is the ideal financial situation. So it's like, you know, you've got money saved away for the future. You have income coming in where you're able to continue putting money away from the future, but you also have money that you can enjoy your life. You're not checking your account and worrying, can I afford to get those shoes? Can I afford to go out for dinner? Oh, can I afford to take time off work? And, you know, I want to take a vacation. Where can I afford to go? You're not worried about those things. You want to go somewhere, you want to take time off work, the money is there. You're not worried about it. Plus, you're able to give to others less fortunate. You're able to pay it forward. You're able to be generous with things like charities and situations like that. So I do feel a lot of you are stepping into this energy. I feel for a lot of you, when you're breaking away from the things that no longer align with you, that you're seeing them as toxic or lower vibrational, it's like almost immediately opportunities are opening up for you. Keep in mind, my dears, that this is energy that's going to be following us 6 months to a year. So it might not all happen this week. The ball is rolling this week. And the first initial steps are being taken, but you know, you are being led to a whole new kind of level. I feel a lot of ascension, like ascending energy with you guys in your reading this week, Taurus, and that's a good thing. Your next card here is the King of Cups. Alrighty, so King of Cups is that generous energy, that generous energy. Now, King of Cups traditionally can indicate husband energy, father energy, and so some of you might have, you know, future husband, future baby daddy, baby mama or something coming in, or future spouse coming in, or you may be focusing on your marriage and bringing a harmony into the marriage. That could be happening for some of you. But you know that I try to keep that kind of stuff separate from the weekly forecasts, and I try to focus on the other ways in which the cards apply. If you're wanting more love, relationship, love stuff, check out the love readings after this video. Watch the love readings for June that are linked in the description. So outside of love, outside of romance, outside of marriage, King of Cups is a card that can indicate generosity. Okay, King of Cups is also somebody that can be very well traveled, very familiar with different cultures, different backgrounds. And so you might be meeting an individual who is kind of aligned with that energy, someone who's just a little sophisticated. But Taurus, a lot of you may be stepping into that energy yourself. You might be finding a desire to like broaden your horizons, right? Some of you maybe are feeling a desire to learn a particular language because you're feeling guided to go to that part of the world, or you're feeling guided to begin being more inclusive in your life, right? Like you're like, here I am talking about social justice and stuff, but how many friends do I have? How many people do I know that are from backgrounds different than mine? You know, am I just here sitting in my on my couch shouting at the TV? You know, am I going to protests and speaking up? But how am I being inclusive in my life? How am I broadening my horizons by actually, you know, incorporating this into my own life and getting to know people and getting to know cultures and getting to know different ways of life. So I feel with the King of Cups, Taurus, some of you are becoming more cultured. You're becoming more refined. You're becoming more inclusive in your life, and you're finding that you're making a lot of friends, or you're about to make a lot of friends. Some of you have like completely and totally just completely written relationships and marriage off entirely. And you're just going into this as like a way to enjoy life and enjoy being single, enjoy the fruits of your labor and your hard work in terms of your business or your employment. But I do feel for some of you, it is ultimately going to lead you to marriage. And there is a sense of like full circle. So some of you might be meeting up with someone from the past that also had an awakening, that also kind of stepped it up, and you guys might both be looking at each other like, oh my God, you've changed. Like, you're a completely different person. And I don't mean physically. There may be physical differences. You all maybe have gotten older, gained weight, lost hair, grew hair, who knows, you know, but there may be a thing here of really kind of getting a kick out of the way your lives took you in different paths and kind of brought you together in the future in a way where you're more alike than you realize, and you both have had this awakening and you've both become better people. And so that might not happen this week, but things might be happening this week that are opening the door to this happening in the future. Because the energy I'm reading right now is going to be energy that's going to be with us for about a year. So it could be happening in the next few weeks. It could be happening in the next month or so. It could be happening in the next 6 months. It could be happening in the next year. But I am feeling that vibe for some of you as well. We're going to go ahead and see what your spirit message is for the week, my darlings. My darling Taurus. Tauruses. Tauri. We're going to see what's happening for Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising. And again, my darlings, don't forget to watch your Moon sign and Rising sign videos, because some weeks they're going to resonate with you more than others. If you would like a private reading with me, you can schedule through Calendly. Please don't get mad at me about the wait. Know that I love you. Let's see here. Healer, Taurus, hello. So the message here says, you have powerful healing gifts. Have faith in your abilities. Stay true to your path as a healer. So this awakening that a lot of you are having, this massive awakening that you are having, is directly connected to the way in which you're bringing about healing to the planet. I want to clarify something. Healing doesn't always look like, faith healer preacher on TV that's like, laying their hands on people and magically curing them. It doesn't always look like people like me, tarot readers, Reiki healers, Qigong. It doesn't always look like that, okay? Teachers can be healers. Firefighters can be healers. Anybody who's bringing about positive change and is touching and impacting somebody's life. So you could be doing your work as a healer through music, through art, through any way in which you're inspiring others or teaching others. It doesn't always have to be in the sense that we think of like, the metaphysical, okay? So keep this in mind. Although Taurus, many of you may be stepping into the role of like energy healers and things like this. And understand this, Taurus. Those of you who are making a completely different change, a completely different shift, I do feel some of you are walking away from a very lucrative life. and people are looking at you like you're insane, like what are you doing? And people might get upset with you. And I can relate. You know, I worked in the legal field for 10 years before I stopped doing that and had my spiritual awakening. And I lost so many friends when I did this, right? I went from like leaving a super religious background to being around people that saw themselves as successful or saw themselves as like pursuing like material success in this world. And then when I came into the path of like being a healer, I lost those people too, because they're like, this is insanity. This is so stupid. Why would you do this? Right? And so people either thought that I was doing the devil's work and they didn't want to talk to me or have anything to do with me, or they thought that I had completely lost my mind. I'd gone insane. I was having like mental issues, or they thought that I was some kind of like a con artist, because there's people that are like, oh, this is all lies, this is, you know, BS. And I respect everybody's opinion, you know, and you have to too, Taurus. You have to understand and realize you can't, you know, it's not your job to convince people to believe you. It's not your job to convince people to be supportive of the changes that you're making. It's your job to live your truth. It's your job to live your life in a way where you're helping other people, you're bringing about helping, you're bringing about positive change, and the right people will gravitate towards you. And the people who don't want to be around for it, I can tell you from my own experience, if you miss them at all, you won't miss them for very long. And I'm not being cold in saying this. It's the truth of the situation. So, you know, because you will come into finding connection with your higher power, connection with your beliefs. You'll find fulfillment in the work that you're doing. And along the way, you will find real friends. Alrighty, my darlings? So there's your message for the week and in through the next few months. Taurus, like I said, don't forget to watch your moon and rising sign. One last thing, my darlings. Thank you so much for those of you who showed up to the Instagram fundraiser that I had, where I did live readings to try to earn money for that wonderful single mother in New Mexico, single mother to 2 boys, trying to save her salon. She's one of the sweetest people I've ever met in my lifetime, and I wanted to help her save her salon. With your help, we raised $888 of the $2,500 she needs to save the salon. So we're going to make one more attempt here. I will come on to YouTube Live, and I will do YouTube Live readings for free. You guys can come on and ask questions in the comments, and I will pull cards for you guys. I will do this on June 6th. If we are able to get $2,500 raised to save her salon, if we can do it by June 5th. Okay, so I have the link in the community tab. If you go to my channel and click on the part that says community, I have the link to the GoFundMe there. And just donate $1. If a handful of you, out of the thousands of views, out of the 100,000 subscribers, if a handful of you donate $1 or more, if you can, then we can hit that goal, no problem. We can hit that goal in an hour, you know. But I know times are tough, and I know that there's people that they don't even have $1 to give right now. And I understand that, and know that I love you and I appreciate you. I'm praying for all of you, whether you're giving your good energy and prayer and good vibes, or if you're contributing. I'm praying that each of you are blessed tenfold. Know that, and know that I appreciate you. And I understand some people do not have $1 to give. I've been there in my life. I know. But if you can help, thank you, thank you, thank you. And hopefully I'll be able to come on to YouTube Live. And if it goes well, if it's not too scary, if it's not too overwhelming, then hopefully I can do live YouTube readings, maybe like once a month or something. We'll see. We'll play it by ear. We'll see how things go. Thanks for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing, Taurus. Have a wonderful week.